Hello, you beautiful divine soul. How are you doing as you're living during these unprecedented times of 2020? In this video today, we are going to talk about living during this time and using the energies of crisis and chaos to connect to the heart of the spiritual golden age. My name is Sarrah Chapman with Soul Abundance IQ. Thank you so much for joining me here. Because your soul chose to get into a body to be here on the planet at this time, you are here for a reason. And you are here to hold a lot of space in your own individual experience as well as for the entire collective. Especially if you are watching this video, I'm going to assume that you consider yourself to be a light worker or an intuitive or an empath or spiritually open and awakening. Or if you have another term that you identify with here in this community, please share it with me in the comments below. Now, because you are someone oriented to that spiritual path and your own inner knowing and your own inner calling, you are holding a very specific energy, again, for yourself, but also for the entire collective at this time. And you chose at a soul level to be part of these transformational times as we are going through that transition of the Aquarian age into the Piscean age, as our solar system is making its orbit around our galaxy and starting to come back towards that center of the Milky Way galaxy at this time. And we're all feeling this transformation, these transformational times, as though we are moving through the birth canal and having those birthing pains as something new is being created. And as we are witnessing what looks like chaos and crisis and destruction happening as the foundations of our world are starting to crumble in order to be reformed. And it's definitely heavy. It's definitely has its pain points as we are doing so much clearing out during this time. And I personally believe that all of this clearing is making space so that we can really start to tune into our heart center and have a bigger connection to that portal way that is created through our hearts, so that we can begin to connect to more of the golden age. Now, everybody is going to have their own definition for that, but in my definition of what the golden age is, that's where we're bringing in more of that soul level wisdom, remembering who we are at that level as spiritual beings, having this beautiful manifest physical incarnation and melding spirit and matter into one. We're going to bring in more of the consciousness that helps us remember that unity and that oneness, the integration and connection of all of life while still being in the individual form and being able to at the same time tap into that collective energy. Now, during this time, I have 4 steps that I really personally have been working with in order to tune in to the heart of that golden age. So for me, it always starts with deepening my spiritual connection to my inner self, deepening my own connection to my intuition. And in my opinion, there is a lot of self-trust that has to be cultivated in order to really be able to hear that small, still voice, that really subtle knowing, while also giving ourselves a lot of grace as we go through that process and grow into that deepening. And I really believe that in our society at this time, we have really been looking outside of ourselves. We've really been looking for validation from others or at tangible metrics of success or validation from other people. And if you're on a spiritual path, you're probably already working on a lot of this, but I feel like we always have more and more room to grow into that deepening of trusting ourselves and coming back to our intuition and really igniting that connection of bringing in our higher selves and that deep knowing that allows us to just flow in any moment into what is going to serve us for our highest good and the highest good of all. The second piece that I work with in this process is really grounding into Mother Earth consciousness, really connecting with the planetary field and finding a space where we're not only rooted into Mother Earth and grounded into that space, but also where we start to integrate our own intuition with that planetary field. So it's almost like we're creating a new technology here and creating a joint field for ourselves with that planetary knowing. So it's like we can be in communication and in communion with Mother Earth energy and help that to guide where we go in conjunction with that inner knowing. So that again, it's like we have gone from our individual self into that unity of all life and into that consciousness of being connected in the one and in the all. And then the third piece that I've really been working with is tuning into my triggers and tuning in to what the full spectrum of human emotions has to show me. Now, I definitely never want anyone to get stuck in what, feels to us like lower vibrations or more negative energies and negative feelings. And I notice where I still personally resist a lot of this, where I'd really much rather just shift into better feelings. But when I really slow down and look at my anger, my frustration, my pain, especially this year, as we're doing some heavy clearing of our own personal karma and the karma that's been created over thousands of years of societies, and just allowing that space to be witnessed as it comes through us, allowing ourselves to move through that pain, to witness it, to do any grieving that comes up, and then find a healthy way to move through it. Whether that's moving the body and dancing or walking or whatever your spiritual practice is, without moving through it so fast that we miss some of the golden nuggets and the gold that's in those deeper human emotions that are here to bring us a gift when we slow down and really look at them. And then the fourth piece that I've been working on is really bringing in an integration with the collective consciousness. And that can look a lot of different things, because really any of our relationships is a gateway to that global ecosystem that we all live in together as one human species and as all life. But as we may be navigating difficult relationships in our family, or, people who have different belief systems than us, and that's really being ignited this year. Starting to work with really holding our space and our beliefs in a harmonized way where we're not compromising. We are not engaging in toxic behavior that's harmful to us. We're still upholding our boundaries while also having love and compassion for the other and their own personal journey. And then working in a way where it's not like we're forcing our beliefs or anything onto anyone else, but also bringing in, it's that golden light is the resonance that I always think of, where golden light comes in to nourish and heal and really bring the prosperity and abundance that's available when we can start to witness ourselves, witness others, hold compassion while still holding our individual space and what we stand for, but maybe in a softer way. Or if you've been too permissive, it's maybe, like really finding your voice while also giving the other space to have their experience as well. I would love to hear from you. What are you experiencing during these times? What are you working on, and what are you finding that helps? And how are you integrating with the collective at this time? How are you finding your space during crisis and chaos and transformation and transmutation? I am really wishing you all the best, and I am wishing you uplifted energies and well-being during this time. Thank you so much for joining me. All the best.